Chapter 7, Crossing the Withered Wastes. As dawn crept upon the land, casting a fragile light over the world, the group stood at the precipice of the withered wastes. Before them lay a land that time seemed to have forsaken, a vast expanse where the wind whispered secrets of a bygone era. Gladion, Maris, Calix, and Elder Mage Keelam gazed upon the horizon, understanding the perilous journey that lay ahead. "The withered wastes," Elder Mage Keelam whispered, his voice carrying the weight of untold stories. "This land bears the scars of ancient battles and lost civilizations. Beware its guardians, for they are not kind to intruders." He glanced at Gladion, whose resolve seemed to only strengthen in the face of such warnings. With the magical hairpin tucked safely in his hair, Gladion nodded, signaling his readiness to lead the way. The first few steps into the withered wastes felt like crossing into another world. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the crunch of their footsteps on the dry, crackling earth. Maris, with her keen eyes, led the group carefully, avoiding the more ominous patches of land that seemed to hunger for life itself. It wasn't long before they encountered their first challenge. From the depths of a swirling sandstorm emerged monstrous creatures, their forms twisted by the magic that had corrupted the land. With a battle cry, Calix stepped forward, his sword gleaming in the sparse sunlight. The group stood together, united in their determination to protect the magic of the hairpin and each other. The ensuing battle tested their strength and their bond, as they relied on their unique abilities to overcome the creatures. As the last of the monsters fell, the group took a moment to catch their breath, looking around at the desolation that surrounded them. It was here, amid the remnants of a fallen tower, that they discovered the echo of a lost civilization. Intricate carvings on the ancient stones told the tale of a people who had once thrived in the withered wastes. Their society centered around a powerful magic that had eventually led to their downfall. Elder Mage Keelam studied the carvings, a somber expression on his face. "This serves as a reminder," he said, "of the responsibility that comes with wielding magic. It is not only a gift, but a burden that must be carried with wisdom." Gladion felt the weight of Keelam's words, realizing that their mission to spread the hairpin's magic came with its own set of challenges. But as they continued their journey, guiding each other through the harshest of landscapes, their bond grew stronger. They laughed together, shared stories of their past, and in the face of adversity, found comfort in their united purpose. Though the dangers of the withered wastes were far from over, their resolve to reach more realms and spread the magic of the hairpin never wavered. Each obstacle they faced brought them closer, teaching them more about themselves and the magic that connected them. As they ventured deeper into the unknown, they knew that together they could face any challenge the world threw their way. The withered wastes stretched endlessly before them, a landscape of haunting beauty and desolation. Despite their recent triumphs, Gladion and his companions were not foolish to the dangers that lurked in these barren lands. The very air seemed to leech life, demanding respect and caution with every step they took. As the sun reached its zenith, casting long, stark shadows across the cracked earth, the group stumbled upon ruins that whispered of a time long forgotten. Crumbling structures of stone and metal hinted at a civilization that had once thrived in this inhospitable place. Curiosity mingled with caution. They ventured closer, their eyes wide with wonder and wariness. It was here, among the silent sentinels of a bygone era, that they encountered the tribe. The tribespeople were like none they had met before. Their eyes shimmered with the resilience of those who had learned to coexist with the harshness of their environment. Their leader, a woman of commanding presence and gentle demeanor, welcomed Gladion and his companions with a guarded hospitality. She spoke of the wastes not as a land to be feared, but as a realm to be understood and respected. Under her guidance, the group learned of the intricate balance that sustained life here, of the hidden water sources and the edible plants that bristled with defiance against the barrenness. In exchange for their lessons on survival, Gladion shared the magic of the hairpin, demonstrating its transformative power. The tribespeople were awestruck, seeing in this magic a symbol of hope and rebirth. What had been an unexpected encounter soon blossomed into a powerful alliance, with the tribe offering to guide them through the deadliest parts of the wastes. Their journey resumed, now with the wisdom of the tribe echoing in their minds. They faced down sandstorms that roared like the ancient beasts of legend, navigated treacherous ravines that seemed to swallow light itself, and faced creatures that prowled the shadows, eyes glowing with malice. With each challenge overcome, the bond between Gladion and his companions deepened, their resolve steeling against the uncertainties that lay ahead. As they camped one evening under a canopy of stars unblemished by the lights of civilization, they shared stories of their pasts, dreams of their futures, and the lessons they had learned from the tribe. The magic of the hairpin was not just in its ability to transform, but in its power to connect, to bridge worlds and hearts with the thread of understanding and compassion. The withered wastes, with all its perils and secrets, had become a crucible, forging them not just into survivors, but into bearers of a magic that could change the very fabric of existence. Their journey through the harsh landscape was far from over, but they moved forward with the certainty that together there was no challenge too great, no darkness too deep. As dawn broke over the withered wastes, rinsing the night's shadows with a wash of gold and crimson, Gladion and his companions gathered their sparse belongings. Each glance exchanged among them spoke of unvoiced worries and silent vows. They were about to venture into the heart of forgotten realms, toward an ancient edifice that whispered promises and warnings alike. Guided by tales half-believed and maps sketched in the dust of myths, they navigated the terrain with a caution born of respect and fear. The landscape morphed gradually, from cracked earth to a harmonious chaos of jagged rocks and gaping fissures, as if the world itself had been shattered by some ancient cataclysm and left to mourn its brokenness in solitude. It was here, in the embrace of desolation, that they stumbled upon the structure, improbably preserved amidst the desolation. Rising from the wastes like a sentinel of the past, its architecture was a confluence of elegance and resilience. Its stones spoke of ages gone by, and of the civilization that once gleamed like a jewel in the heart of the withered wastes. Its presence was an anomaly, a piece of history defiantly etched against the canvas of wilderness and decay. The approach was cautious. Each step closer unveiled more of its secrets, carvings that depicted scenes of life, joy, and despair, and inscriptions in a language that teased the edges of comprehension, promising insight and understanding to those who could unlock its mysteries. Gladion felt the hairpin tremble with a subtle resonance, as if reacting to the whispers of magic that seeped from the ancient stones. As they crossed the threshold, the air within greeted them with a palpable silence, heavy with anticipation and the weight of untold stories. The interior revealed a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, each turn a further descent into the heart of the civilization that had mastered the wastes, only to be consumed by them. Paintings, preserved against the ravages of time, adorned the walls, depicting the rise and fall of this once great society, their achievements, their struggles, and their ultimate downfall. The deeper they explored, the more they understood the gravity of their discovery. This was not merely a relic of the past, but a bridge to understanding the unity and diversity of the realms they sought to heal. The lessons of the ancients, their triumphs, and their tragedies were a mirror to their own journey, reflecting the potential for greatness and the peril of downfall. As they delved into the heart of the structure, they uncovered a chamber that pulsed with a soft, ethereal glow. Here lay the essence of the civilization's knowledge, preserved within crystals that shimmered with latent power. Gladion, drawn to the central crystal by an inexplicable force, reached out. The moment his fingers brushed against the surface, a vision engulfed them all, revealing the rise of the civilization through mastery of magic and its decline as that very magic became their undoing. The vision faded as suddenly as it had appeared, leaving an indelible mark upon their souls. They realized that their journey was not just about spreading the magic of transformation, but about understanding the balance required to wield such power responsibly. The discovery promised a deeper connection to the magic they bore and underscored the importance of their quest. As they emerged from the ancient edifice, the withered wastes seemed less a prison of desolation and more a crucible of transformation, where from the ashes of the past, new life could arise. Their journey through the harsh landscape was far from over, but they moved forward with the certainty that their path, while fraught with peril, was also paved with potential for profound change and rejuvenation. With each step, the once dead soil beneath their feet seemed to stir, a subtle reminder of nature's indomitable will to endure and flourish amidst adversity. As they ventured deeper into the withered wastes, the remnants of the lost civilization provided landmarks of a bygone era. Crumbling towers and statues, half swallowed by the sands, whispered stories of glory and downfall, a poignant reminder of the transient nature of power. It was here, amidst the shadows of these relics, that Gladion and his companions faced the guardians of the wastes, creatures twisted by magic and sorrow, remnants of the civilization that once thrived. Battles were fought with a mix of bravery and strategy as the group tapped into the latent magic of the hairpin to defend themselves and pacify the creatures. In a particularly harrowing encounter with a beast whose eyes glowed with the pain of loss, Gladion reached out with newly found empathy, soothing its anguish with a wave of transformative magic. The creature, once a fearsome adversary, stood before them transformed, its eyes now shimmering with the light of understanding, before it turned and vanished into the depths of the desert, a symbol of the healing and transformation possible through acceptance and compassion. This victory, however, was not without cost. The magic of the hairpin, while powerful, was also a burden, demanding a toll on its wielder. Gladion felt the strain, a weariness that sank deep into his bones, a sign that the magic was not without its limits. But it was within this fatigue that he found a deeper connection to the pin, an understanding that its power was not just to change form, but to heal, to empathize, and to unite. Their journey through the withered wastes continued, each encounter with the remnants of the lost civilization, each battle with the guardians, weaving a richer tapestry of their quest. Gladion and his companions grew closer, their bonds strengthened by shared adversity and the collective dream of spreading the hairpin's magic to all who desired it. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the sands, they made camp among the ruins of a once magnificent palace, its walls still echoing the laughter and sorrows of a world that had once thrived. As they gathered around the fire, the flames casting a warm glow on their faces, they shared tales of their past, their hopes for the future, and the lessons they had learned from the hairpin. Gladion, looking at the faces of his friends, felt a sense of belonging that had eluded him for so long. The hairpin, resting gently in his hair, seemed almost to hum with energy, as if it too was listening to their stories and dreaming of the world they wanted to build. The night grew deep, and one by one the companions drifted into sleep, leaving Gladion to watch over them. In the quiet of the desert night, he pondered the power of the hairpin and its source. The magic had not only transformed him, but also revealed a strength within him he had never known. He wondered what other secrets lay hidden in the vast mystic realms they had yet to explore. The following morning, they ventured deeper into the withered wastes, the air growing ever more arid and the sun beating down mercilessly. Despite the harsh conditions, Gladion and his companions pressed on, driven by their mission. They encountered ruins of cities swallowed by sand, remnants of a civilization that had once mastered the desert, but was now lost to time. Among these ruins, they found artifacts, inscriptions, and murants useful for defeating grotesque creatures that roamed these lands. As days turned into weeks, the harsh landscape tested their resolve. Yet it was within this desolation that they discovered an oasis, a haven of life amidst the death. It was here, in the shadow of a ruined tower, that they encountered a nomadic tribe untouched by time. The tribe possessed ancient knowledge of the realms and spoke of a prophecy foretelling the arrival of travelers wielding transformative magic. Gladion realized that their journey was intertwined with destinies far greater than they had imagined. The tribe shared their lore, offering insights into the hairpin's origins, suggesting it was crafted by a sorceress who sought to bridge worlds and beings, to create harmony where there was discord. They warned, however, of the price of such magic, a burden that Gladion was already beginning to feel. Despite this, the encounter emboldened them, providing a sense of purpose that fueled their journey through the remaining stretch of the withered wastes. As they left the oasis, Gladion looked back at the tower, now bathed in the golden light of dusk. He felt a deep connection to the magic coursing through the realms, a bond that went beyond the physical transformation the hairpin offered. With renewed determination, he led his companions onward, the vision of realms united by magic guiding their every step. As Gladion's party ventured closer to the edge of the withered wastes, the air grew denser, an ominous fog rolling across the barren lands like a silent predator. Alongside Gladion walked Sylvia, a mage of considerable power whose knowledge of the arcane had proved invaluable. Theron, a stalwart warrior whose loyalty was as firm as his shield arm. And Eris, a quick-witted scout who knew the wastes as intimately as one could. Their journey thus far had been fraught with peril, but the promise of reaching realms yet untouched by the magic of the hairpin fueled their determination. As the crimson sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the desolate landscape, they came upon ruins that whispered of a civilization long lost to time and tragedy. Crumbling towers and shattered archways spoke of a once majestic city, its grandeur consumed by the encroaching desert. The air was thick with the weight of unspoken stories, and the hairpin seemed to pulse with a more insistent energy, as if resonating with the latent magic still clinging to the stones. Gladion felt a pull towards the center of the ruins, guided by an unexplainable certainty that here, in this place of desolation, they would uncover truths that would further illuminate the path of their quest. With cautious steps, they navigated through the maze of debris, their way lonely by the pale light of the moon and Sylvia's luminescent spells. The true test of their resolve came upon them in the form of guardians, spectral figures that emerged from the shadows, their forms barely distinguishable but for the haunting glow of their eyes. These were the protectors of the realm's secrets, bound to the ruins by ancient magic, and they regarded Gladion and his companions with suspicion and hostility. The air crackled with the tension of an impending clash. However, Gladion, feeling the truth of their mission so deeply, stepped forward, the hairpin ablaze with light. He spoke words of peace and purpose, his voice carrying the weight of their noble quest. To everyone's surprise, the guardians paused, their forms flickering uncertainly. It was in this moment that Gladion and his companions realized the power of their mission went beyond mere physical transformation. It was a call to unity, to healing fractures that ran deeper than the visible wounds of the world. As understanding dawned, the guardians slowly receded into the darkness, leaving behind them a path cleared of ominous intent. Gladion's party moved forward, crossing the threshold into a realm that had been shrouded in darkness, bearing the light of a hope that promised to mend what had been broken. The realm that embraced Gladion and his companions was unlike any they had ventured through before. It bore the scars of a long-forgotten conflict, its lands fractured, and its skies hung heavy with a mournful gray. Yet there was beauty in its desolation, in the resilient blooms that fought through the cracks, and the enduring structures that whispered tales of old. Their footsteps echoed on weathered stones as they ventured deeper, their eyes adjusting to the dim light that filtered through the clouds. The magic of the hairpin, a radiant warmth in Gladion's chest, seemed eager, almost pulsing in anticipation of the work ahead. In time, they came upon a village, its inhabitants eyeing them with a mixture of curiosity and caution. These people bore the weight of their realm's darkness, their faces etched with stories of loss and perseverance. Gladion, feeling a kinship in their shared struggle, stepped forward with a gentle openness. He introduced himself and his companions, explaining their mission, the magic of the hairpin, and its promise of transformation and renewal. Skepticism met his words initially, the villagers having been ensnared in despair for so long that hope seemed a foreign concept. But as Gladion shared more of his journey and the changes he had experienced firsthand, a flicker of interest began to ignite among them. The hairpin's magic was not just a transformation of self, but an emblem of inner truth and liberation. However, the darkness of the realm was not merely a backdrop to their lives, but entwined in the very fabric of their existence. A malignant entity, once a guardian of the realm turned corrupt, ensnared the land in perpetual gloom, throttling any effort to revitalize its spirit. Understanding the gravity of the challenge, Gladion and his companions pledged to confront this entity, believing that the magic of the hairpin could restore not just individuals, but an entire realm. Preparations began at once, with the villagers sharing tales of the entity's rise and its weaknesses. Together, they devised a plan that would take them into the heart of darkness to face the corrupted guardian and reclaim the light stolen from their world. As they readied themselves, an unwavering bond formed between Gladion's party and the villagers, forged in the fire of impending conflict. Their journey had become more than a quest for personal transformation. It was a battle for the soul of a realm, with the magic of the hairpin as their beacon of hope. As dawn broke over the village, a hush fell upon the assembled crowd. Gladion, with the magical hairpin securely fastened, surveyed the eager faces of their newfound allies, a mix of determination and fear reflected in their eyes. He knew the journey they were about to embark on was perilous, traversing the withered wastes and facing the corrupt entity that had tainted the realm with darkness. But the resolve in Gladion's heart was steadfast, bolstered by the unity and courage of those standing with him. The plan was simple and daring: penetrate the heart of darkness, confront the entity, and use the hairpin's magic to restore the realm to its former glory. The villagers, though not warriors by nature, were quick to adapt, their spirits kindled by the prospect of liberation. Under the tutelage of Gladion and his companions, they honed their skills, transforming raw courage into a formidable force. The journey through the withered wastes was treacherous. The landscape itself seemed to conspire against them, with shifting sands that hid lurking dangers and mirages that led many astray. Yet, amidst the desolation, there were moments of beauty, a reminder of what they fought for. The ruins of a lost civilization whispered secrets of a bygone era, their silent sentinels watching over the travelers. Monstrous creatures emerged from the shadows, each encounter a test of the group's resolve and unity. Gladion's leadership, combined with the magic of the hairpin, proved invaluable, turning the tide of seemingly hopeless battles. It was during these moments that the party discovered new depths to the hairpin's power, tapping into latent abilities that bolstered their strength and resolve. As they neared the heart of darkness, the landscape grew even more foreboding, the air thick with malice. The entity was aware of their approach, sending forth its minions in a desperate attempt to halt their advance. But the combined might of Gladion's party and their allies pushed forward, undeterred by the looming threat. With each step, they drew closer to the confrontation, their journey through the withered wastes a testament to their enduring spirit. The challenges they faced had forged them into a cohesive unit, their bonds strengthened in the crucible of their shared ordeal. As the final barrier to the entity's lair loomed before them, a sense of anticipation filled the air. The moment of truth was upon them, and with the hairpin's magic as their beacon of hope, they were ready to face the darkness and emerge into the light. Underneath a blood-red sky, Gladion and his team, with newfound allies in tow, made their venturesome push through the decrepit threshold that guarded the entity's domain. The air, thick with a miasma of decay and darkness, resisted their advance like a palpable wall of malice. Step by step, they ventured deeper into the heart of desolation, their resolve hardened by the trials they had faced and the bonds forged in adversity. As they navigated the lair's twisted corridors, an eerie silence enveloped them, broken occasionally by the distant, unidentifiable sounds that seemed both alien and hauntingly familiar. The hairpin, now pulsating with a soft radiance, served not only as their guide but also as a shield, repelling the dark energies that sought to overwhelm them. Its light grew stronger, imbued with the collective will and determination of those who wielded it, signaling their approach to the entity's sanctum. Gladion, leading from the front, felt the weight of their mission pressing upon him. The transformation bestowed by the hairpin had awakened within him a sense of purpose he had never known, driving him forward through the shadowed halls with a conviction that belied his earlier years of wandering and doubt. Beside him, his companions, each carrying their own story of transformation and redemption, moved with a synchronized determination, ready to confront the source of the realm's suffering. Suddenly, the corridor widened into an immense chamber, its vaulted ceiling lost to the shadows above. At its center, bathed in a pool of unnerving light, stood the corrupt entity, a being of untold age and malice, its form shifting and writhing like smoke in a tempest. The hairpin's light flared at the sight, its magic reaching out to touch the hearts of Gladion and his team, reminding them of the strength they possessed together. "This is it," Gladion whispered, his voice imbued with a power he scarcely recognized as his own. "Together, we end this darkness." With a determined nod, his allies formed a circle around him, each ready to play their part in the upcoming battle. The hairpin's glow intensified, casting long shadows behind them, as they braced themselves for the confrontation that would decide the fate of the realm. The entity, sensing the threat to its dominion, unleashed a howl that shook the very foundation of the lair, a sound that promised oblivion to those who dared challenge it. But Gladion and his team stood firm, their spirits bolstered by the hairpin's magic and their shared journey of discovery and transformation. The battle that ensued was a tempest of light and darkness, a clash of wills that echoed through the withered wastes and beyond, a testament to the courage of those who dare to dream of a better world. As Gladion and his companions stood firm, the entity before them, a creature of shadow and despair, its form ever shifting like the sands of the withered wastes themselves, raised its massive dark tendrils towards the sky, casting a shadow that seemed to swallow light whole. "Together," Gladion whispered, his voice steady despite the pounding of his heart. Adrenaline coursed through his veins, a stark contrast to the calm he had felt when he first used the hairpin. Now, it was not just about his transformation, but about the world's rebirth. With a determined nod from each of his allies, they launched into action, powered by the magic that had brought them together. The battle was fierce, with each member of the team showcasing their unique abilities. Lysa, with her command over fire, sculpted flames into ferocious animals that pounced at the entity. Cedric, whose strength was unmatched, tore through the shadows with his bare hands, his body glowing with a light that seemed to come from within. And Mara, the wisest of them all, chanted ancient spells that wove protections around them, her voice a beacon in the darkness. Gladion himself was a sight to behold. He moved with grace and precision, the hairpin's magic flowing from him in waves that washed over the entity, weakening it with each strike. The creature's howls filled the air, a sound of pain and fury that threatened to shake the very ground they stood on. But as the battle raged, the landscape around them began to change. The withered wastes, once a land of death and despair, started to bloom with life. Flowers sprouted from cracked earth, trees burst from the ground, their leaves unfurling like the wings of a phoenix reborn. It was as if the land itself was fighting back, inspired by the courage of Gladion and his team. As the entity weakened, it made one last, desperate attempt to extinguish the light. With a roar that seemed to split the sky, it unleashed a wave of darkness. But Gladion, stepping forward, raised the hairpin above his head. A brilliant light exploded from him, a beacon of hope that pierced through the darkness, engulfing the entity and banishing it once and for all. The silence that followed was profound. As the light dimmed, Gladion and his companions looked around, awestruck by the transformation of the withered wastes. Where once there was only death, now there was life. Where despair had reigned, now there was hope. "We did it," Gladion said, a smile spreading across his face. "Together." They embraced, laughter and tears mingling in the air as the realm itself seemed to sigh in relief. But their journey was far from over. There were more realms to reach, more people to help. With the entity defeated and the withered wastes reborn, Gladion knew that their quest was only just beginning.